Hello, hi everyone. So, for the English speaking people coming here, my channel is mostly in French, and thanks to a good friend of mine, I finally decided to give it a try and to do my first spread in English. So, I'm not using the tarot, fortunately for me, because otherwise I would be mixing up the French and the English. I'm French, by the way, for those who want to know where this little accent comes from, sorry. And I'm by no means an expert, and this is just the vibe that I get, that I pick up with the cards of the moment. Don't get overwhelmed. You'll be able to understand the imagery, and even if the texts are in French on the cards. And so this will be the vibrations and the kind of energies that will be here for us with this new moon that is coming on the 30th of August, which means this Friday. And well, we'll see. I'm going to try to. I've did it in French and shuffled the cards already, so I'm not going to reshuffle and do a complete different spread. So I'm just going to give you in a nutshell the kind of things I've picked up and the kind of, I guess, try to hand out their guidelines on what will probably perhaps need to be worked on, or what needs to be really taken care of. And of course, self-care is the most basic primal thing that you have to do for yourself. So let's see the new moon as a kind of this little booster to try and keep working on issues that we might be facing at the moment. So this is a generalized kind of spread, so if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, perhaps it means that this wasn't for you, the message wasn't for you. So I've used the Tao, which are an oracle that you probably can find in English. The Sibylla oracle that I love. It's the first time that I actually use this for new moon and full moon energies, because I do new moon and full moon energies, and perhaps I'll do more English spreads according to how it resonates with people. And then Mario Duguay, which is also pretty famous, I guess, wrote too. So let's not lose too much time because I tend to talk a lot. So let's go. So what I've picked up for the new moon, what this new moon is going to kind of force us to go really deep inside of us, to see where we have been hurt, but not just slightly irritated by someone or having kind of a rough day and being like in a fight with your partner or your family. We're really talking here about events that will probably occur during the like upcoming month, I would say, because the effect of the moon doesn't last just 2 days. It can last up to 3 weeks, up to a month. So here we can see on the pictures that for all the people that have unresolved issues and that have been in denial and repressing some things, as we can see on this card, if there are things that were so traumatizing, we're really talking about real trauma right here, really deep childhood core wounds, things like this that have really made a great impact on the way that shaped the way you are now and the way you are behaving and also interacting with other individuals, whether they're close to you or people that you work with, or acquaintances. We really see with this card, for me, what resonates is that the thing that you had to really keep in the closet and hide, and the parts of you that had to be kind of frozen because the fear of being overwhelmed by too much pain was so enormous that you'd rather not see it than just confront it, will be something that you will have to work on during this month. It's something that will be necessary, and it's also the greatest opportunity for you to stick your hands in this goddamn wound and really try to clean it up, to be able to make it heal properly with the right care. What will be necessary and what will be also helpful to keep in mind, and it really came back twice, so I think it's something I really need to emphasize on, is the idea of remaining humble through this really incredible journey called life. It's to be able to be gentle with oneself and also with other people. And what will help is to be able to put limits and draw limits and say, I'm tolerating this, I'm not okay with this, and being able to verbalize it and to share those limits of yours and to make yourself feel respected and honoring yourself. So this is the time perhaps to sit down, write your list of deal breakers when it comes to personal relationship. If you're looking for a partner, if you're wanting to get out of this relationship, what are you tolerating that you actually don't want to keep tolerating? It's maybe time to really sit down with yourself and have a real honest kind of introspection and kind of an honest talk with yourself to see what you're bearing that is not even yours, and what are you going to accept and what are you not going to accept anymore. There's a lot this in the undertone of this spread is self-respect and knowing where the limits are, and also accepting other people's limitations, because what we tend to do, unfortunately, is to project things onto other people around us most of the time that we care for. Obviously, that is just not there. It's our projections that we put onto them. And what means being gentle and modest and having humility is also being able to understand those people's limitations. It's accepting yours, but also accepting someone else's limitations and taking them for who they really are and what they really are, and not expecting them to be anything different than what they are. It's really, there's a great need to see people for who they are and not keeping on daydreaming or nurturing some kind of fantasy thought that they will probably change and you will stop feeling miserable as soon as things will change. Nothing will change. Let me break it down to you. Nothing will change but yourself. It comes with you. It comes from you. Maybe it's the right time right now to work on the dark side of you, to be able to put light onto it. And what makes me really go down that road is this idea of having, as you can see on this photo, on this tarot. I don't know why I want to say photo, image. We can see that this is just not a fertile ground, and she finally decides to plant her little tree somewhere else where there's more light, it's less gloomy, and the soil looks a bit better. That's what is required from you with this full moon new moon coming up. It's this idea of having the opportunity to be able to be the mother that you wish you would have had if you didn't have good parenting or good parent figures. It's about being a good enough parent. For those that have a bit of psychology background, the Winnicott, the good enough parents, good enough mother. It's about doing the work and reminding yourself that you're good enough. You're enough. It's good enough. And what will help also is this idea of, for those that are familiar with this too, yin and yang are two forces that cannot be separated. The yin is the more feminine energy, the more nurturing, motherly, earthly part of ourselves, and the yang is the more action, driven by really the willpower. It's more the fatherly kind of, I would say, energy that archaically, I don't even know if this word exists, but that is really archaic. And here we can see that for the new moon, being really attuned with your feminine side, even if you're a man, obviously this has nothing to do with sex. It's about the energy that you emit and really nurturing this mother, good enough mother for yourself will be a great way. Perhaps even for some people, having real deep, like, open-hearted conversation with groups of women, with friends, with girlfriends, with mother, with any sort of maternal figure could be a really good thing for this during this upcoming month. What makes me think that we're on the right track is that we can see, for me, there's a big correlation between those two with the imagery. As we can see, she has her belly popping out. We could guess that she's perhaps pregnant with something, with an idea, with something. And we have the same kind of imagery here depicted in a different way. Here it's not pregnancy, but we can see that this statue, this person, is holding a bowl, and he can put anything he wants in it. And that's where we're at. We're at this stage of the personal kind of internal alchemy, the grand œuvre, like we say in French, for those who know a little bit about alchemy. And now is the time to put in there what you want to put in there to be able to create the life that you desire. The other thing that comes up to clear things out a bit more with the Sibylla, the oracle, is pretty straightforward. It has to do with relationship. We see that we're on a quest for something. We're on a quest to find ourselves. We're on a quest to be able to nurture and perhaps be surrounded with people that will bring us this joy, this innocence, then this carelessness that we're looking for to be able to let go. But first, we have to do the work on ourselves. And we really see that we're going on into this onward journey. The only downside that I would see with the Sibylla is that this don't be passive this month. Don't be waiting for something to just drop like all of a sudden from the sky, with you not having to do anything, like sit on your couch and hoping that things are going to change. No, it starts with you, like I've just said. And if you're in a situation where you feel that you're repressing your feelings, you feel enticed to a life or a relationship or relationships with people that do not match with what you want to be living, and that are not really attuned with who you are and the true person, the true real soul that you are. It's time to cut loose those people that make you feel like shit. And we can see this idea. That's why I'm telling you, don't be hoping for things to just drop from the sky and just to line up without having to put any work in it. You have to stay with the flow. Go with the flow, but you have to put the intention and put things into action, and perhaps even plan things to be able to get where you want to go. It's like you have the GPS, great. You're at point A, we want to go to point B. You have to put in the coordinates to know how long it's going to take. So don't be passive, but keep this kind of nice, smooth, loving, motherly energy that you have in yourself to guide you with your heart and with your mind where you want to go. Don't be passive. Don't wait for things to just drop from the sky. I think what will be the turning point during the upcoming weeks is a news that will come in the form of a conversation with someone, or an email, or texting, or perhaps a letter, perhaps even something quite official like paperwork, administrative work. This news will come and will just be this kind of the trigger button that will make you feel absolutely horrible. And I believe that it's something that you've been already subdued to several times. It's not something new. It's something recurrent in your life that is making you repressed and making you feel stuck in your relationships, or even a job or something. Now is the time. See it as the golden opportunity to change things around, because fortunately we have this idea of having the proper help, that you will have inside of you the right intuition, that you will know intuitively how to manage this, or you will find creative ways to come around this situation that is bothering you, to make it into something that will be really a relief and opening up new doors. What makes me think that staying humble is the way is that it comes twice, with modesty and with haughtiness, but it's upside down. So for me, it's the reverse. So we're really in an idea of it's not keeping it low profile, because you have to honor also your qualities, and it doesn't mean that you're vain for doing so, but it's about having humility also towards other people, their weaknesses, their limitations, your vulnerability. It's about being openly vulnerable. And also, for some of us, we might be disappointed by people around us, not automatically a friend, and not a friend that is a woman, but it could also be a male friend. But there's this idea of being disappointed, perhaps because we expected from other people things that they would never be able to give us in the first place. It's this idea, like I was mentioning, this mirror effect, where what we don't want to see in us, we project it outside. And there's also this idea of usually when people bother us, it's because there's something in them that we see, that we recognize, but that we refuse to see in ourselves. So anything that pisses you off a lot about someone, see in what way it resonates with you, and you have this trait of character that you don't like about them in yourself to be able to work on it. People never irritate us for no reason. There's always an underlying wound or something of some sort that has to do with us, and usually childhood. It has nothing to do with them. So if people are disappointing you, or if some friendships are falling apart, or even love relationships, let it fall, let it go. If it's not working, don't keep walking a path that is making you feel like there's no hope and no light at the end of the tunnel. Why I'm saying that it's about love, it's because the cards I've picked, I've put them back in order. That's how they came out, I think. Yeah, here we have the reunion, and we have hypocrisy, being fake. So that's why I'm telling you, for the people in a relationship, or that are considering, like, that are starting to see someone, that have recently started dating someone perhaps, be very, take your time and be very drastically, like, I want to say terribly honest with yourself first, and with your own intentions, and be very, I know it's hard when you're kind of blinded by the infatuation of the first phase, like the honeymoon of love relationships, but be really, try to be more pragmatic and nourish this honesty with oneself, to know where what you're putting yourself into. And for the people that are already with someone, really see if this person is a good fit for you, and not on paper. I mean in life, in concrete, tangible ways and actions. Does the actions and the words match up or not, you know? And for some, I even see that there are some kind of triangulars, like if there's two person running for this, if you don't know how to pick between two guys or two girls, it's a bit vague. Once again, what are your true intentions? What are their true intentions? There's a need to there's a study of character that has to be done, primarily with yourself, and then with the people that you might consider as potential partners, life partners, because there's somehow something that is being dishonest in their intentions or in yours. There's something that's just blurry, and has to do mostly with codependence and the fact of acting just to please everyone. Don't be a doormat. This is the opportunity to stop being a freaking doormat, and to actually impose your limits, and to say, I like this, I do not like this, I want to be treated this way, I do not want to be treated this way. So it has to do for me with the love, with the relationship you have with your family, friends, or life partner, or potential boyfriend or girlfriend. So you have to stop making over and over and over again the same patterns. You have to break those patterns, because we can see there's some it's deceitful relationships that you have to get out of. So those are in French, so I'm not going to bother reading them, but the first one means trust. The second one means letting go. So you got to trust yourself. There's this saying, I don't know where it comes from, but it's something in the lines of, universe, please give me the strength and the bravery to be able to change what I need to change, and the strength and bravery to accept what I cannot change. So do what's in your grasp, do what you can do that is concerning you primarily, directly, but everything that is external from you that you cannot control, let it go. This perhaps might mean letting go of people, relationships, a toxic job, the toxic boss, and start listening to your inner voice and your intuition. And my computer is starting to kind of whoop, so I think it's time for me to stop there. I hope this was out of service, and perhaps I'll see you around for other recordings. Bye!